What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the exhausted hippie who decided it was a good idea to go outside and do yard work before it became 112 degrees. Um, Bad mistake. If I pass out, you'll never know because I won't post the video, but here's to making it through. Today we're doing Cream. Arguably, definitely the first, well, maybe not first. Yeah, arguably the first truly great jam band ever to live. The Dead, I guess they were dropping Viola Lee blues back in like 66, 67. So one of the first great jam bands ever. And if you don't think of Cream as a jam band, then you've never heard Cream jam. I'm just going to rank their albums. I'm going to include the live ones. Normally, I do not include the live ones, but as I did with the Dead, I included the live ones with the Dead, and I included the live ones with Zappa. There are some bands, I don't think you can leave the live ones out and truly get a true picture of what the band is like. Like, you can't review Dead albums and not review Europe 72. It just kind of makes no sense. Plus, considering that they released 4 like studio albums in their brief career, and 2 of those were half live, they knew like what they were good at, even though the studio albums are good. So I'm going to include the 6 albums they did from 66 all the way through 72, or that were released in sort of their heyday, even though they had broken up by the time the 72 one was released. And then I'm going to make a separate video, probably with that more recent get together that they did. I think I don't know when it was, early 2000s. I didn't check that. Plus, I want to discuss the awesome box set of the Goodbye Tour, which was released a couple years ago. 3 or 4 live shows from that Goodbye Tour, their last tour. That is fantastic. But that'll be a separate video. When I decided I was not going to do only Frank Zappa stuff, I started this channel on COVID. I was going to devote it only to Frank Zappa. When I decided I was not going to do just Frank Zappa and I want to do other artists, the very first artist on my list is Cream. I was listening to a show. I think I was actually listening to Does Humor Belong in Music for the channel. And Tinseltown Rebellion, Come to Skim the dun 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 dun, Cream, wrote down Cream. And I was like, yeah, and then I can do Eric Clapton, I can do Jack Bruce, I can do Ginger Baker. Then I started to make a list. Devo is up there high on the list. Haven't got to Devo yet, but we're finally getting to the top of the list. So here we go. Yeah, 6 albums. I'm just going to talk about each one. And then at the end, I will put the list on the screen, and then you tell me yours, and that's how it works. But anyways, let's get on to number 6. Number 6 is the first of their post-breakup live albums, Live Cream 1, or just Live Cream. Great album. All of these are absolutely fantastic albums. But 5 songs, 4 live ones. There's a studio version of Loudy Mama, which is essentially Strange Brew with different lyrics. Literally, I think it's the exact same music as Strange Brew, if I'm not mistaken, but with different lyrics. But we got 4 live songs, including one of the all-time great live songs performances they ever do, a live version of NSU off their first album. Absolutely incredible song. I think NSU stands for non-specific urethritis. I think that's what it is. Apparently, one of the members of the band had VD. It wasn't Jack Bruce. Apparently, it wasn't the drummer either. And the title is in reference to that. So yeah, I think that's what it's about. Just an absolutely blistering version. If you want evidence for why this band is a jam band, drop an NSU. Decades later, they released a box set, Those Were the Days, which essentially has everything they ever released. It's got all the studio stuff, plus it's got all the live stuff. I came across it at a used CD store for like $15, and it really only has 4 songs that I think are not on the CDs or on the albums, on the official releases. There's Anyone for Tennis, an awesome single, plus another version of NSU that is an extra. Pretty much it's 2 minutes longer, That's even better than this. And that might be worth the cost of the entire box set if you can get it for cheap. But that's a really good box set because it has everything on there. Plus, they resequence the live stuff, so it's all on 2 CDs and not spread out on like Wheels on Fire, and all the other releases. Wheels of Fire. But yeah, I always forget the title of that. If it's on or of. But anyways, yeah, NSU makes this almost like an essential listen. We get a live version of Sleepy Time. Great. We get that Loudy Mama on side one. That's the studio version of Strange Brew with different lyrics. And then side two, we get Sweet Wine, a really nice, long, jammed out live version of Sweet Wine. And then we get a live version of Rollin' and Tumblin', which is not one of my favorite songs. I'm hit and miss with harmonica. I don't have a problem with Jack Bruce's playing harmonica, but I generally don't like the songs he plays harmonica in, like Train Time, Rollin' and Tumblin' don't really do it for me. So I dropped this to number 6 pretty much because of Rollin' and Tumblin'. One track on here I don't need. The Loudy Mama's interesting, but not that relevant, not that revelatory or anything. Revelatory? But the other 3 stuff, NSU, Sleeping Time, and Sweet Ryan, are absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that's my number 6, Live Cream. Number 5 is Fresh Cream, their debut album that came out in 1966. Another absolutely fantastic album. I do have the American version, which starts off with I Feel Free. I don't think that was on the original UK release at all. Might have been a single. Don't know. But my version starts off with I Feel Free, which is a nice little... This is a really good... kind of a psych pop rock album. There's definitely some very like 60s psych energy, but I think they do a really good job of leaning into that. And then they have a number of songs, some really good covers, a number of songs that kind of they would take live and absolutely just expand to like triple, quadruple their length because they're a jam band. But it opens up with I Feel Free, a nice, good lead-off single. Follows with a really short, intense, but still awesome song, the 2.5-minute version of NSU. They would quadruple the length live, essentially. Sleepy Time, Dreamin', a nice little sort of almost ballady, kind of like wistful, really nice. I don't know, Bruce's performance on this is, I think Bruce might sing this. Bruce wrote it. Yeah, Bruce sings it. Bruce, really good. I think Clapton only sings one song in this debut. Yeah, really good performance by Bruce on Dreamin'. And then Sweet Wine to close out side A. Side 2 opens up with an instrumental jam, a cover of a song that they did a nice little arrangement of. Cat Squirrel, some nice, good live jammy energy for an instrumental. It's not live, but live, this would be a fantastic song. 4 Until Late, a Robert Johnson song that Clapton did. Of course, Clapton's doing a Robert Johnson song. I think it's the only song he sings on the album. Rollin' and Tumblin', which I'm not a big fan of. I'm So Glad, another cover. Awesome song. Really love this song, especially because live on an album that's later on this list, they absolutely just tear it up. Absolutely fantastic. And then the album closes with Toad, which was sort of Ginger Baker's Moby Dick, a song that live would include a really long drum solo, and even on the album includes an unnecessarily long drum solo. I'm not a drum solo fan. I like the instrumental head of Toad and like the conclusion, just like Moby Dick from Zeppelin. It has like a really awesome head, and then we get a really long drum solo. But yeah, and then Toad closes it out with a Baker drum solo buried within. So a really solid album. Some really good psych pop rock stuff. A couple songs that just live would be absolute classics. But yeah, a really solid, good listen. My number 5, Fresh Cream. My number 4 is their second, Disraeli Gears. And yes, I do know that most people rank this as their best album, including a close friend of mine who we recently had an argument about this when I told him what my list was going to be. I do think 4 of their all-time greatest songs are on this album. The 2 songs that open up side A, Strange Brew and Sunshine of Your Love. The 2 songs that open up side B, Tales of Brave Ulysses and Swallober. She Was Like a Bearded Rainbow. Um, Absolute bona fide classics. But there are no 10-minute, 15-minute live jams on here, and everything else on this list has a strong live component. So only because I'm including the live stuff, well, if I didn't include the live stuff at all and considered only half of Wheels of Fire, I keep confusing it with the band song, Dylan Band. Uh, it might jump up to number one, but I'm including the live stuff, so it doesn't stand a chance. But yeah, side A, Strange Brew, Sunshine of Your Love, World of Pain, really nice, kind of slower, ballady, kind of one of those heartfelt numbers. Dance the Night Away, really good energy. Ginger Baker's Blue Condition to close out side A. Side B, Tales of Brave Ulysses, Swallower, We're Going Wrong, Outside Woman Blues, really good Clapton song. Really like the opening riff to Outside Woman Blues. Kind of wish they had gone somewhere else once they established the riff. I think it kind of takes it down, and I think there's a better energy that could have written that song, but I like that kind of opening riff. Take It Back, and then that sort of traditional, silly kind of English lullaby ballad weirdness, short little number, Mother's Lament to close it out. Yeah, really great psych pop 60s album. Absolutely fantastic. Four absolutely amazing songs on here. But I have to drop it to number 4 because it doesn't have a live workout. I do want to say Swallower, She Was Like a Bearded Rainbow. We used to go about once a month to the Griffith Park Observatory in Los Angeles because I grew up in Southern California down in Huntington Beach. And we'd go up in high school because they did the laser light show. They switched it. I think there were like 4 every year. We'd probably go see each one 3 times and then they change it. We'd go up like once a month. But we usually indulged in some sort of like mind expanding substances. And I remember we saw one that was, I think it was called the Psychedelic 60s. And we usually wouldn't look at like the list. We just went in blind, like we're going to enjoy this. And I remember like midway through that, they dropped She Was Like a Bearded Rainbow. And I still, to this day, can like literally remember the overwhelming sensory overload that was that experience. And I don't think I was pretty familiar with the song. I knew Cream, but I think I was spending more time listening to Wheels of Fire, and I wasn't that familiar with this song. Blew my mind. Loved the song ever since. But yeah, anyways, it's a fantastic album. It's just, there's no 10 or 15-minute live tracks, and that's the thing I love more than anything. So it's going to be number 4, Disraeli Gears. Number 3 is Goodbye, their 4th and final studio album, though it's half studio, half live. This came out in 1969, and this has Badge. This has Badge, which alone bumps it all the way up to number 3. First time I saw Clapton live, early 80s, went with my stepdad. I knew this song, I liked it. But I didn't know anything about Clapton live at the time. And they play Badge about halfway through, and fantastic, like nice, long, lengthy solo in that middle solo. The song ends, and then if you know from Clapton, they then do like a Badge reprise, and they go back and that and they like revisit that absolutely perfect vamp, and then Clapton just soars. I think his other guitarist did that middle solo, and Zach Clapton took that final solo, and that final solo, that going back into the Badge reprise and just jamming that out, will for always be one of my top 10 all-time sort of life-altering live concert moments. That was just like, the show was great until then, right? I'm like I think I was like 13, 12 or 13. I think it was on might have been the Money and Cigarettes tour. I absolutely loved Clapton as a kid. Still love Clapton. Everything up through still like Behind the Sun. Everything before Behind the Sun I'm a huge fan of. But I always thought he was Californian. I did not know. I knew he was from England, but I assumed he had moved to Southern California because his 70s stuff has the best Southern California vibe of any artist ever. Maybe even more so than Neil Young's awesome Southern California vibe. But absolutely love Clapton. But man, that Badge live changed my life. Made me absolutely love live music. But the other stuff on here, we get a almost near 10-minute live version of I'm So Glad, which is one of the most essential listening things ever. So fantastic. We get a really nice kind of version of Politician, a live version of Politician. Another fantastic song. This one reminds me a lot of the sort of dark energy in this reminds me of David Bowie's Sweet Thing into Candidate. And that's sort of like how Candidate just becomes kind of evil and sinister. And both these songs capture politics in such a great way. We get a live version of Sitting on Top of the World. And then the studio stuff, we get Badge, perfect song. We get a Bruce song doing that Scrapyard thing, which is kind of like really good psych rock pop, the Beatles meets Traffic, kind of all over the place, kind of really good Bruce energy. And then we get a pretty good Ginger Baker song to close out called What a Bring Down, which actually I think might be his best contribution, like as far as like actual songs go and not drum solo vehicles. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic. If you get the CD for this, I think the bonus track is Anyone for Tennis, a fantastic Clapton acoustic psych pop song that pretty much predicts his entire 70s career. Fantastic song, some great Dylan-esque psych lyrics, just really, really good stuff. But yeah, I love this album. I don't know why people don't. I think it's fantastic. The live stuff is incredible, and all the studio stuff is really good. Badge, one of their best. Bruce, maybe doing that Scrapyard thing isn't his best, but it's a really good, fun song. And then Ginger Baker kind of brings it. So yeah, that's my number 3. Goodbye. My number 2 is their third album, 1968's Wheels of Fire. A double LP, 2 sides of studio stuff, 2 sides of live stuff. The studio album, side A, kicks off with White Room, right? What can you say about White Room? It's White Room. Ridiculous song. Cover of Sitting on Top of the World. Really interesting to compare. It is essentially different lyrics, but essentially the same, like, they're like couplets, and essentially the first half of the couplets are different, but the second half of the couplets are kind of the same couplets that the Grateful Dead did in theirs. Really interesting to compare the Dead version of this to the Cream version. Completely different beasts. Ginger Baker's Passing the Time, which is another pretty good Ginger Baker song. An absolutely awesome sort of creepy, ballady, psych, haunting Jack Bruce's As You Said. Just has this really incredible energy about it. This really kind of dark vibe. It in a way predicts like Jack Bruce's like a lot of sort of the darkness of some of his solo stuff, or some of the weirdness of some of his solo stuff, or maybe on the surface level it feels like it's a normal song, but there's always just kind of weird stuff going on beneath it. Fantastic song. Side 2 opens up with this really weird spoken word thing that Ginger Baker did called Press, Rat, and Warthog, which I think is connected to Wind in the Willows. I haven't read that in a long time, but I think there's a connection to Wind in the Willows. Let me know if you know. The fantastic Politician, one of my favorite Cream songs. Love this. Just ranted about why I like it in that previous one. Those Were the Days. A song I used to not like as much as I do now, but I drive to work pretty much at the same time every morning. It takes me about 12 minutes. And right in the middle of my drive, at 6:52 every morning, the local AM radio station, which I listen to just to see what's going on in the AM radio world, does this thing called Those Were the Days, or whatever. That's not it. I'm singing All in the Family. But they do this thing called Those Were the Days, where the host, who's about 75, reads every morning, this is what happened in this day in history. And I've been driving this drive to work now. We've lived here for 15 years. So I've been making this drive for about 15 years. And a couple years ago, I was teaching summer school on my birthday, and it's the same drive. And I was driving and I was listening to it. I got there super early for summer school, though I didn't have to. And I realized that he does the exact same thing every year. That every year he's literally just revisiting the same thing. And he's been doing this for as long as I've been driving. But anyways, they play like 6 seconds of Those Were the Days. And because of that, I've come to love the song. Wasted your time telling that story. Awesome cover of Born Under a Bad Sign. Fantastic. And the underrated Deserted Cities of the Heart. Man, great song. There is a great live version of that coming up on the next album that is fantastic. A song that I think Bruce started to play live in like his last two tours right before he passed away in like 2012, 2013. I kind of wish Clapton had played this live, even though it is a Bruce song, and just either sung it himself or let somebody else sing it, because it is such a fantastic song, has such good energy. The momentum of this song, absolutely love it. Really, really good studio stuff. Though it is kind of a little dated with the pressed Rat and Warthog. Other than that, really good covers, really good songs. And then disc 2, we get Crossroads. The Crossroads we all know and love. Again, it's from a much longer version, and it was edited down to this 4.5 minutes of dynamite. Fantastic. We get a Spoonful, 17 minutes of Spoonful. Absolutely fantastic. Love the energy in this. Everything about this works. Makes me so happy. We need more stuff like this in the world. And then side 4, Train Time. Not my biggest song, not my favorite song. And then Toad, which has like a really, 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 really long drum solo. I don't ever listen to side 4, I'll be honest. But the other 3 sides, including that Crossroads Spoonful, are so good that this has to be at number 2. Plus, some of those studio tracks are so fantastic. But yeah, my number 2, Wheels of Fire. And my number 1 favorite Cream album is Live Cream Volume 2. This came out in 72. Live tracks both from Oakland Coliseum and the Winterland. So a lot of West Coast stuff. Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. Opens up with the aforementioned Deserted Cities of the Heart. The energy, Jack Bruce's bass playing. This band, man, are they ferocious live. And like hearing them like extend a Spoonful, you get to hear how incredible and how they can go out there and like go to all these crazy places and then bring it back. But then when you hear them do like just a tight 4.5 minute pop song and bring so much energy to it, amazing. White Room is next. And other than the closing jam on this is the only song that kind of doesn't work for me. Like the transitions back into the dun, 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 back in the middle of the song seem a little like they don't quite flow. I don't think the vocal performances are as good as the studio. If there is one song that on here, maybe, I almost kind of wish it opened and then we got it out of the way and then Deserted Cities just kind of took off. But after the incredible sort of just perfection that is Deserted Cities, the White Room is a little bit of a disappointment. Though hearing the crowd go absolutely crazy in the background when they start the vocals is kind of cool. Politician, nice, mean, gritty Politician. A little bit shorter than the one that's on the last time I talked about a live Politician. But a really, really, really good Politician. What is the other one? It's on Goodbye, right? And then a live Tales of Brave Ulysses, which starts off feeling a little bit slower, but by the time they drop into it and we get the jam, that slowness is just sort of like, it's just kind of brute force, kind of forcing the jam. And it just, by the end of the song, you don't care. It works perfectly. Side 2 opens up with a ferocious Sunshine of Your Love. The jam to close this out is absolutely ridiculous. It's fantastic. I don't ever need to hear another Sunshine of Your Love in my life. I've heard this song so much. I've heard Patrick O'Hearn quote this song so much, it seems. But man, this is a ridiculous version. Just absolutely fantastic. And then we close out with close to 14 minutes of stepping out. And Clapton is in full attack mode. This is a Clapton shred fest. Of course, the rest of the band is fantastic. But Clapton, this is his chance to just tear it up. And he tears it up. A fantastic live album. Absolutely love it. my number one, Fresh Cream Volume 2. That's it, people. That's my ranking of Cream's albums. Cream's albums. Why does that sound weird? And I saw Badge on my second Eric Clapton concert. They were both at the same venue, Universal Amphitheater in Universal City, LA-ish, right? It was not the first one. They didn't play Badge the first one. They played it at the second one. But anyways, yeah. Still one of the top 10 moments of my entire life. But anyways, that's it. Let me know what you think of Cream's albums, what your favorite is, all that kind of stuff. Comment, subscribe, like, share. You know how all this works. And if you haven't checked out any of their live stuff, go check out their live stuff because they are beasts. Beasts. Beast live. Greatest trio ever, right? Sorry, all you Rush fans, but like in a live setting, I will take Cream live over any other trio. Yeah, fantastic band. Anyways, yeah, just didn't mean to upset anybody right there. But yeah, all right. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe. You know, I just said all that stuff. But peace. Go listen to this. Go listen to NSU, people. Live NSU is one of the greatest things ever. All right. And then wear a condom also so you don't get an NSU. All right. That's my PSA for the day. Peace. Talk to you later.